I knew somebody that lived in New Mexico. She's no longer with us. That lived in New Mexico during the 40s when the Roswell crash incident actually happened. She was living there, and she would tell you. And this woman was never known to be a liar. She told me specifically. I don't know exactly what crashed out there, but I can tell you this: it wasn't no damn weather balloon. They lied about that. There was something out there they don't want nobody to know about. So if you think about that, so that to me lends credibility to some kind of UFO crash there. I've often heard theories too that during the 40s, during the time of World War II, aliens for some reason took an interest in Earth, possibly due to the war, and that there was contacts with Germany. The Germans actually had contacts with a lot of aliens, and that's how they were able to get a lot of the groundbreaking technology before other people. And then somehow the Roswell crash actually happened, and that's how we got ours. It's a theory, but that was something I always thought was an interesting thing, that the Bell and all of that, jet fighters, all of that was actual retrofitted. Nazis were retrofitting some technology that they were given from aliens.
Now that I've heard that.
Roosevelt was actually supposed to be in contact with aliens too, So, my question is, whose side were they really on? I mean,
I think they're just playing. They're just playing.
Yeah. Were they playing both sides here, guys, or what? So what's going on?
Well, maybe there's multiple.
That's the theory.
I mean, you do have so if we want to get really into UFOs, there's 3 different types of UFOs that is seen a lot.
I don't have my tinfoil ready for this, but okay, let's get into it.
But when I watch a lot of UFO footage, so I'm just going to. And there's 3 main types that you see. There's the triangles, there's the cigars, and there's the saucers. Those are the 3 main types that you see in all footage. So you got 3 different shapes of UFOs. Who's to say that's not 3 different species that's visiting Earth? If it is species, maybe there was one, maybe the saucers was helping Hitler, and you see a lot of triangle shapes here in the U.S. and we're the ones that came up with the wing ships, the wings, because that's the stealth bomber and all that. We got the wing planes now. Maybe we've been retrofitting the triangles, and that's why we have the wing ships now.
I have said that for a while. I've always had that kind of theory that the stealth bomber is a retrofitted UFO technology because it looks like it.
And it was when it was being when it was being tested out, because it was tested out, close to around Roswell, and it was reported as a UFO many times while they were testing it. They never publicly acknowledged that it was a plane they were testing. But after they finally released it, the documentation showed that a lot of those UFO reports back then turned out to be the stealth bomber being tested.
Well, it looks strikingly like the lights over Phoenix back in, I don't remember what year that was.
97.
97.
Yeah.
It looked strikingly like that, but that ship wasn't moving. It was more or less hovering. I don't think our stealth bombers can hover yet.
Well, I actually wanted to speak about that, because there was actually the lights over Phoenix. There was actually 2 different reports that night. There was the lights, and there was also a triangle space shaped ship that was seen over the suburbs, actually floating over the suburbs. And both of those were separate. They were like two different reports on the same night.
Of course, the government's explanation was flares. They were being dropped. There was like a formation.
It's just funnier when you say it, Jason, than the government for some reason.
Well, and then they also backed out of that too.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, they said it was flares, and then they came back later and said no, and they went back to the old like standby. It was weather balloons.
Weather balloons
with lights on the bottom of it.
Well, no,
I think it was the National Guard in Arizona attempted to recreate that formation with flares, and it didn't look like it at all. So,
but did they try weather balloons and flares?
Yes, they did. Like, I don't think it was the National Guard, but they have tried to do the weather balloons and recreate the Phoenix lights as well, and it didn't work.
Of course it didn't.
It's hard to get a weather balloon to stay side by side as you release them.
It's hard to get a weather balloon to do anything except drift through the air.
So I want to see weather balloons and flares in the air at the same time and see what kind of massacre happens with flares hitting a bunch of weather balloons. Just boom everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see that. I want to see that right there. That's what I would.